It's talking about baseball in the commercial break. Stop it.
Okay, sorry.
Piercings. Claire Hoy has a lot of piercings.
I do, yeah.
But he's not going to show them to you on this show. School district in Texas bans mouth jewelry, grills, whatever that is, and earlobe stretching earrings. So mouth jewelry and earlobe stretching earrings have been banned by a school board in Texas. The rights of the child to do what the child wants, self-esteem, and I need to wear this jewelry. Look, earrings on well, girls, I suppose boys as well to a certain extent, in moderation, fine, but so many piercings, tongues and noses and goodness knows what else. Do we agree on this one? It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing.
What's bad about it? The kids were wearing...
They're made in Israel.
That is real bad. Boycott them, I would say then, for sure.
Yes, you would.
The grills, you know, I don't understand.
I didn't know what is a grill.
It's like the like those tooth braces that kids would wear years ago.
Yeah.
But now it's cool, I guess, in LA and places to you can have gold ones or silver ones.
Oh, that's what they are.
And yeah. So I mean, they're pretty ugly looking, I think, but kids think they're cool. So what's the big deal if they're wearing them into school? I don't understand.
Because if they're told not to, they shouldn't do it. If the school says you can do it, do it. But the school says no, do what you're told.
Well, you know, it's like if you're a kid and you tell the kid not to do something, then they're going to go the opposite way and do that. Well, so I'm not so sure that's a good enough reason just to say no.
Would you have done that at school, though? If the school said if you do it, you don't come to school.
Michael, we couldn't afford grills. These things are about $200 a pop.
Yeah, I know.
We were lucky to have shoes on our feet going to school.
You know that your parents probably would have said, if the teacher said, I'm sending you home, you would have been in real trouble. Today it's, how dare you? My kids are about to wear this.
I mean, it's a different era, of course, but yeah, there's much more...
Parents more likely today to phone the lawyer and sue rather than you know, say the kid is doing something he shouldn't be doing. School boards have a right to set standards. I don't have any problem with that.
Well, I agree with you. They certainly do. But it's not so much the jewellery. It's the school saying no to something and kids saying we matter more than your opinions.
No, they don't.
Yeah, well, I think as long as you don't have to go to the school, then the school can set its own rules. It doesn't matter whether they're talking about clothing, jewelry, or even the kinds of books you're allowed to bring to school. If they have the option of not going to that school, if it's not... Well, that's
effectively they don't.
Yeah, if it's a state school and you're not allowed to go anywhere else and there are no private schools around as an alternative, then yeah, I think you've probably got a situation where the government shouldn't be telling you how to dress. But government, you take government out of the equation. If you're not forced into this situation, if you're not coerced into this school, then it's completely optional.
But government is involved, and they're not going to go to a private school. And effectively speaking, this is a school they have to go to. It's too far to go to another one. So to be practical, they have to go there.
Right.
But the school still has a right to say this is the way you dress. Not to be extreme about it.
Yeah.
But
well,
you don't wear this.
I would prefer that for a public school, it would concern itself with things that are more pressing. I mean, how you dress. Clearly, I'd rather have my kid wear grills, whatever they are, or spikes coming out of his lip, than to be taking drugs or something else. So, you know...
It's not either or, though. Once you say there's moral anarchy and the kids' opinions are paramount, then why not take drugs? Why not beat someone?
You don't have to go so far as say moral anarchy or anything else. You can say express yourself peacefully however you like, but if you're going to come to school and do something criminal, then we're going to ban you.
I don't really care about kids expressing themselves. When they're at school, I want them to learn. I want them to master the basics of communication and go out in the world and they communicate as much as they want. But it's not about that.
I agree 100% with you, and that's why they shouldn't be using cell phones in the classroom.
Sure they shouldn't.
But whether they have a ring in their nose, I don't think it's going to affect whether or not they can read a book.
It's not about the jewellery. It's about the attitude and the assumption behind the jewellery. I want to wear it. You have no right to tell me not to.
Well, that's how it is as an adult. Why shouldn't they learn that good and young?
Because they're children. They can't vote. They can't do various things. I mean,
what would be the logic, though, behind saying, I mean, if you agree that having a ring in your nose or a grill in your mouth is not going to impact on your ability to learn, why then would the teachers want to come out, or the school principals, with such an edict and say you can't do it? It's not interfering with your learning.
I think it does have an impact on learning, because the sort of kids who would demand that they're allowed to dress or behave in a certain way are the kids who tend to be the more disruptive. And school is not about personal freedom as much as it is about education.
No, I think that's...
Yeah, but I mean, you can see that
that's why uniforms are a good idea.
You can see that dogs who tend to be dressed with studded collars tend to be the ones who bite. Well, go after the biting dog. Don't go after the studded collar. I mean, I don't really care if kids who wear spiked earrings are statistically more likely to be disruptive. What I want is that for a school to effectively deal with disruption, and we all know...
But I don't know if there's any evidence to prove that any kids who have grills in their mouths are more disruptive than those who don't have grills in their mouths.
Well, they tend to be the ones who are going to see Shakespeare.
No, they tend to be the ones I think that are probably more creative and expressive in their outlook. So you don't think so?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Why wouldn't it be?
I think they're wearing a uniform. I think the kids who dress in that way are wearing their own form of uniform. They're not... I mean, there are kids, certain types of maybe goth types and others, who maybe are quite expressive in their own way. But these kids are saying, it's my uniform, it's not yours. They're not being individualistic. They're following the crowd, but it's a different crowd.
Oh, but who doesn't follow a crowd? I mean, no matter what you're wearing, you're rarely the first. Well, that tie, I could say nobody else is wearing that tie.
I think that could be true. Very quick, last point.
No, I think that we should draw the line at things that matter. And disruption is something the school should be doing something about, and they're not doing anything.
You define what matters, though. I think the school does. The school says this matters, it matters.
Well, you know, as a taxpayer, I would say that if you're allowing disruption in my child's learning environment, and they are, if you're not teaching them basic morals, and they're not, then I think you've got some bigger problems than whether someone's got a grill in their mouth.
You're half right. Back in a few moments on the Michael Coren Show, and by that point we'll all have grills or something like that. Don't go away.